What if I told you Netflix might just be hiding one of its biggest mysteries yet? The Thursday Murder Club lit up the platform with over 24 million views in its very first weekend, and it didn't just make a splash, it became the most watched movie worldwide, even outshining the buzz around K-Pop Demon Hunters. With a start like that, it's no wonder fans are already asking the big question: will we see these sharp-witted pensioners return for another round of crime-solving chaos? Here's the catch: Netflix hasn't confirmed a sequel just yet, but director Chris Columbus has already teased that the decision rests entirely on how many people tuned in during that crucial opening stretch. In his own words, "We'll know in about 10 days if we're making a sequel." The good news? He's more than ready to dive back in, even hinting he'd love to film not just a second movie but a third one immediately after, saying, "We're at the castle, let's spend 100 days and make both films." That kind of enthusiasm isn't something you hear every day. The future looks promising, especially with Richard Osman's best-selling series offering a treasure chest of material. For books are already out, with a fifth on the way this September, meaning Netflix has enough stories to build an entire franchise if the numbers keep climbing. So if you're hoping for more, the answer might just come down to whether people keep streaming. Timing, though, could test our patience. The first movie was filmed between June and September of 2024, hitting Netflix in August 2025. With cast schedules packed, it's unlikely cameras will roll again until 2026. If production follows a similar pattern, that pushes the release window to 2027. Of course, fans are crossing their fingers for an earlier date, but if there's one thing we can almost guarantee, it'll drop on a Thursday. After all, would it really be the Thursday Murder Club otherwise? And speaking of guarantees, what about the cast? It's hard to imagine the story without Helen Mirren, Celia Imrie, Pierce Brosnan, and Sir Ben Kingsley reprising their roles as Elizabeth, Joyce, Ron, and Ibrahim. The chemistry between them lit up the first film, and Imrie even admitted the entire cast would love to return, though she laughed about being superstitious and not wanting to spook things. Alongside them, Naomi Ackie and Daniel Mays are expected back as Donna and Chris, plus Jonathan Pryce as Elizabeth's husband, Tom Ellis as Ron's son, and Ingrid Oliver as Joyce's daughter. Fans are also hoping for a proper introduction to Sarah Niles as Donna's mother, since her role was cut in the first movie despite filming a scene. But one of the most heated debates centers around Bogdan, played by Henry Lloyd Hughes. In Osman's novels, he becomes a key ally of the club. Yet Netflix's first film threw a curveball by having him arrested, a move that left die-hard fans fuming. Could the sequel find a clever way to bring him back? That's one of the biggest question marks hovering over the project. When it comes to the story itself, nothing has been locked in. The first film tied up neatly, without leaving a cliffhanger to set up part 2. Still, the logical path forward is Osman's second book, The Man Who Died Twice, where Elizabeth is pulled into a dangerous new case after being contacted by an old colleague. But there's always a chance the filmmakers decide to break away from the books altogether and create an original mystery for the pensioners to unravel. For now, the reality is simple: there's no footage, no official teaser, and definitely no trailer. Anything floating around online right now is pure fan fiction dressed up as fact. What we do know is that the first film's roaring success has put Netflix in the perfect position to greenlight a sequel. The only question left is, will they pull the trigger? So until Netflix makes it official, the fate of the Thursday Murder Club sequel remains its own unsolved mystery. But if you're one of the many hoping to see these unlikely detectives return, the best way to make it happen might just be hitting play on the first film again and again. Because sometimes, the real clue to a sequel isn't hidden in the script at all, but in the numbers.